Tight chest muscles like the pectoralis major and minor worsen your posture and limit your shoulder range of motion. While you may know the standard chest stretches, the 5 exercises in this video target other elements, giving you more well-rounded and better lasting results. Hey, it's Coach E from Precision Movement, and welcome to a video where I'm going to help you to loosen up your tight chest muscles, which can be the pectoralis major or the pectoralis minor. And in this video, I'm going to go through a bunch of different strategies and exercises that touch on various root causes of tight chest muscles. Now, you might have one or more of these root causes, but if you implement the strategies and exercises in this video, for sure you're going to feel better. Whether it's loosening of the tight chest muscles, improving shoulder stability, improving your posture, there are a number of different benefits that you can get from this video and from the exercises in it. So if you like getting to the root cause and learning unique exercises, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell so we can stay connected and I can keep sending you videos like this one. Before we get into the 5 exercises, I want to talk about 3 different areas to think about and consider changing that can have a big effect on your chest muscles. So number 1 is your sitting posture. And this is such a big thing here. Most of the time when we're sitting down, we're hunched over, we're looking forward, and we're in this forward head, excessive thoracic kyphosis. So we're rounded between here and here. What happens is our bodies adapt to this position. And when our bodies adapt to this position, we adapt in this range where the chest muscles are shortened, our shoulders are rounded, and external rotators, upper back muscles, they're all lengthened and they get weak. So we've got to address this sitting posture before any of the exercises can have a good chance of loosening your tight chest muscles or giving you the results that you're after. So how do we do that? The easiest way to do this is when you're sitting, you sit on your sit bones. They're called sit bones for a reason. They're your ischial tuberosities, the bony part right underneath your butt. And most of the time we're sitting in a posterior pelvic tilt, our tail is tucked between our legs, and we're on our sacrum, our tailbone. We want to get into an anterior pelvic tilt, not overusing the low back muscles, but using the hip flexors. And once we get into this anterior pelvic tilt position, everything from the pelvis up gets aligned in a more effortless way. So that's number 1. Fix your sitting posture, get into an anterior pelvic tilt, stack your vertebrae so you can sit effortlessly all day long. The next point I want to make applies to my fellow gym rats, my fellow meatheads who like to go in the gym and push big weights around. You've got to take a look at your overall program design. And I grew up on a diet of bench press, bicep curls, and tricep extensions. So I know this more than anybody. But if you're doing too much pushing, like a bench press, like a dumbbell press, push-ups, dips, overhead presses, that's going to tighten up the muscles in the front of the shoulder and the chest. And you're going to have tight chest muscles because they're always going to be shortened and strong, and it's going to be difficult to open them up and strengthen the back muscles. So take a look at your overall program design. Make sure you're not pushing too much so that you can restore balance to the shoulder joint and help to get to the root cause. The last point I want to make, and this point applies to not just general life, but also the exercise that you're going to do, is we often breathe shallowly. We don't expand our diaphragm, we don't expand the ribs. So when you're breathing, if you're trying to take some deep breaths, think about expanding the diaphragm and expanding the ribs in all directions. And when you're doing exercises, if you're holding in a position that's loosening the chest muscles and stretching them out, and you take a deep breath and expand the rib cage, that's going to get you a little bit more expansion and loosening in that muscle. So that's just a really quick primer on some things to think about to address your tight chest muscles. Now let's get to the 5 exercises. Before we get to exercises to strengthen some of the weakened muscles and stretch out the tight chest, we're going to mobilize the thoracic spine. And the reason why we're doing this is because if we're stuck in this excessive thoracic kyphosis, it's going to be next to impossible to get the proper muscles activated to bring your shoulders back and to be able to hold that position long term. So to do this, we're going to do the segmental thoracic mobilization. You can use a foam roller or a yoga block. And we're going to do something that's a little bit different than maybe some of the other extensions you've seen over the foam roller. Start off with the roller at the lower part of the thoracic spine, that's at the bottom of your shoulder blades. And from there, you're going to do 3 extensions over. 1 deep breath when you're extended over, and then exhale and come up. So that's 1, and then over. Inhale, expand the chest. Exhale, that's 2, and then last one. That's 3. Then you stay extended over and do some side bends. 3 in each direction. 2, 3, and then you bring your elbows together and do some rotation, staying extended over. Just rotate a little bit, keeping everything from the roller down stationary, rotating everything above the roller. From there, you're going to move so the roller goes up your spine an inch or 2 and do 3 segments total. So you're doing 3 different movements, 3 reps of each at 3 or 4 segments total of the thoracic spine. And that's going to help you to not only extend the thoracic spine and get that joint mobility that's often lost when your posture is poor, but also activate some of the muscles in that extended position so that we can make that range of motion stick a little bit better. So that's the segmental thoracic mode. The next exercise we're going through is to get a muscle called the serratus anterior activated and stronger. And this is a key muscle for shoulder and scapular posture and stability. And it's one I talk about a lot. I've got a lot of other videos, and we'll link to some in the description of this video. And the exercise I'm going to show you is my favorite for waking this muscle up. So the first thing you need to know about the serratus anterior is, yes, it does the function of protraction. That's shoulder blades going apart from each other like that. If you're looking at my back, those are the shoulder blades. That's protraction. It also does a movement known as posterior tilt. So bring the bottom edge of the scapula of the shoulder blade closer to the rib cage. That's the motion that we want to focus on when we do this exercise. So what we're going to do is, you don't need any equipment, just stand up. This is the Slumpy Serratus Activator. So just follow along with me. Don't worry about reps right now. I'll go through all the reps and sets and all that good stuff at the end of this video in a table that's all pretty and easy to see. But just do the exercise and follow along the cues. Learn the cues. So slump, get into poor posture, opposite of ultimately what we're going for. And what we're going to do is reach the arms back, as far back as you can. As you straighten up, tuck the chin, and think posterior tilt of the scapula. Pull the shoulder blades down into the rib cage. Not just together, but into the rib cage. And at the end range here, I'm fighting between lifting my arms up higher and pulling my shoulders down and into the rib cage. Keep the elbows straight. Breathe. You'll feel that chest expand and stretch. You're trying to get deeper into the range of motion, so you're activating those muscles. You're contracting them strong. Now keep the muscles tight, everything on, as you slowly bring your arms back down to your sides, and then gradually release the muscles in this good shoulder positioning. The next thing we're going to do is stretch out the chest. We'll do a simple wall chest stretch, hand up on the wall, about shoulder level, and just get into a mild to moderate stretch. And from there, think shoulders down, posterior tilt of the scapula. You're scooping your scapula under and just holding that position nice and tall through the spine, chins up. And when you're there in position, you've got that mild to moderate stretch. You're taking deep breaths for 1 to 2 minutes. Nice and slow, and focusing on expanding the rib cage, especially under the muscle, the chest that we're stretching. Direct your breath there. And when you breathe out, let everything relax. But keep that serratus on a little bit to keep that shoulder positioning. So you're staying there for 1 to 2 minutes. And with those little tweaks, you're going to get a really effective stretch in through the pec major and the pec minor. And you're going to feel a little better and more relaxed afterwards. And it is important that we do the sequence as such, because we mobilize the thoracic spine, then we activate the serratus anterior. Now we're stretching the chest in a good position, in good posture, with a little bit of serratus anterior activation to keep the shoulder blade in good posture so we can get to that pec minor. So there's an importance of the order of exercises that we do here. Now that we've stretched out our chest, we're gonna activate and strengthen the muscles in the upper back and the external rotators of the shoulder. And this is really good to do after stretching the chest, because now we can get into the full range and the full shortened range of the rhomboids, the mid-traps, the external rotators, because the chest isn't limiting those ranges of motion. So again, the order is important. The exercise we're going to do is called the prone rotation, and rotation is spelled a little bit differently. What you're going to do is get a ball, or you could use a stool or a bench. You're just going to, something that you can lie on where your arms can hang down over top. So you set yourself up, chest, stomach on the ball, nice posture, chin tucked, so chin is pulled away from the floor. And the first movement you're doing is the row. You're going to row with the elbows out, but the shoulders down. So elbows up, shoulders down, let the arms hang, and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Think of stretching the chest, opening the chest up, kind of bowing outwards so the chest stretches, and hold that, and breathe naturally. From there, keep your elbows stuck in space, and do an external rotation. Now the whole time I'm trying to get deeper into all the ranges here. So I'm activating those muscles nice and strong and developing strength and endurance there. After that one, you just reverse the motion slowly, under control, and then relax. What this exercise does is, because we've got these isometric holds, we're working in that fully shortened range of motion, opening the chest up and strengthening the muscles that tend to get lengthened and weaker when we've got poor posture and when we've got a tight chest. So this exercise is a great way to follow up any chest stretching you do, and it's going to make those results that you get in range of motion from stretching the chest out last longer. The fifth and final exercise we're going to cover today is for a muscle called the subscapularis. And the subscapularis is part of the rotator cuff group of muscles, and it's the only muscle that performs internal rotation. So that's rotation this way, and that's rotation this way. The pec major is another muscle that performs internal rotation. And when a muscle that we have in our body gets strong and overused and tonic, which means our body likes to use that muscle and it goes to that muscle whenever we've got a job to do, other muscles, other synergists, can shut off and not work as much as they should be working. The problem with this is that the subscap is a very, very important exercise for maintaining shoulder stability, especially as the arm is moving around. It helps to maintain the head of the humerus, which is the ball, the shoulder is a ball and socket joint, centered inside the socket, the glenoid, as you're moving your arm around. So if this muscle is not working because our chest is dominating this movement and this pattern in the shoulder, then the subscap will not be providing that alignment, and you can be at more risk of rotator cuff tendonitis and tears, shoulder impingements, biceps tendonitis, and other shoulder issues. The exercise we're going to do is the subscap circles, and I'm going to show you using a band. For this, you set the band up around 2 feet above the ground, and you lie so that the band is pulling horizontally across your body. From here, you're going to bend the elbow. You just need a light band. You don't need a really heavy band. And after you bend your elbow, think posterior tilt of the scapula and bring the shoulder down towards the floor. So the whole shoulder girdle stays down towards the floor, and you stick it there the whole time. The reason why I like doing this on the floor is because you have that feedback to help you see that your shoulder is in proper positioning. So I've got my shoulder set up properly, and with the elbow at 90 degrees, you're just going to draw big circles with your elbow coming right across your body, across your face, and down to the ground, and repeat. So here we're training the subscapularis. We're waking it up and we're training it through the full range of shoulder motion, or a wide range of shoulder motion, not the full range, but a wide range. You go nice and slow. The key is maintaining the shoulder and scapular positioning. And you can do a few circles in one direction and then reverse directions and do a few circles in the other direction. Now again, you don't need a really heavy band. You want a light band, just enough to get a little bit of tension to activate that subscapularis. Otherwise, if you use a band that's too heavy, you're probably going to over-recruit the pec major again. It's going to come in and help. So the subscap circle, a great exercise for working this neglected rotator cuff muscle and working one of the synergists that tend to shut off when our chest muscles or pectoralis major muscles are over tight and overworked. So there you have our approach to dealing with tight chest muscles. The segmental thoracic mob should be done for 3 reps of 3 movements in 3 to 4 different areas of the spine. The Slumpy Serratus activator should be done for 2 to 3 sets of 4 to 6 reps, holding the activation for 5 to 10 seconds. For the chest stretch, perform 1 to 2 reps, holding for 1 to 2 minutes each. For the prone rotation, perform 2 to 3 sets of 4 to 6 reps, holding each activation for 5 seconds. And finally, the subscap circles should be done for 2 to 3 sets of 3 to 4 circles per direction on each side. Perform this routine 2 to 3 times a week, and that will help you to build strength and endurance in these muscles to give you lasting results. If you enjoyed that video and our approach, then let us know by hitting the like button down below and make sure you're subscribed. Also, we've got a couple other videos for you. One is more info on the subscap and its role in healthy shoulders. 2 is an exercise that everybody needs to do for posture. And 3, if you've got shoulder pain, check out and sign up for the shoulder pain solution. And let me guide you through exercises in the proper order and unique exercises that will address the root causes to give you lasting results. Thanks for watching. See you next time.